Welcome back to Arson and Culture. I'm Matt.
Jason.
Anthony.
If you know beer, you've heard of TreeHouse Brewing, consistently rated one of the top breweries in the entire world. Is their bourbon going to be as good as their beer? TreeHouse has got a... We are recording, right? Shit.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. Good. I feel like I need a casual. Can I get a casual here?
Well, no, we're getting cracked.
Well,
damn it.
Okay.
Fucking alcoholic.
TreeHouse is holds a spot in a lot of beer nerds' hearts and a lot of just drinkers in general. Their hops are like the best, or some of the best, if not the best, that you can get really anywhere. They don't distribute. You cannot get their beer outside of their brewery. You got to stand in a fucking line for, well, it's usually a quick line, but it wraps all the way around the parking lot, and they sell out all the time. Their stouts are super high rated. Maybe overrated. I don't know. They're
a little
really
bit, maybe.
good. TreeHouse is an exemplary brewery. Everything they do is fucking gold. And now they are trying their hand at distilling. In-house distilling, no less, correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Yeah, so first, just a little bit about TreeHouse. You know, we've been up there. We've been fortunate enough to get up there maybe 2 or 3, 4 times. So I remember the first trip we went on, and you went, and it was a big brewery, but... the last time we went back, or I was up there this past summer, they had probably quadrupled plus in size of just tank space.
Really?
Like in the back, it is completely full. I don't think you can get one more thing in there. Really? So they have to be doing their distilling at another location they have. They have a few locations.
I'm sorry, when was this that you went up, you said?
I went up there this summer, so summer of 2022.
Is that damn bar open yet?
Oh, it's amazing.
So you can drink there, right?
Yeah, they actually, so the first times we went, you had to buy tokens.
Right, yeah.
And then you were limited to 3 pours. Like, shit, what if I want 4?
And you couldn't, like, hang out. And,
Wait,
like,
you're
drink.
limited when you're there?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can only drink it like 3 days a week.
Holy
like on the
cow.
busy days, they wouldn't even have a bartender.
Well, I remember when you told me you were there because we were messaging about it, and that's a foreign thing to me. Like, I had no idea that they were limiting like that. Is that because they'll sell out, or what are they limited like that for?
I think originally what it was volume of their work. So they didn't have enough employees probably to sustain all that. And the other part was it's probably over serving. I mean, their ABV is probably running 9% on a beer, 7 to 9. So you're averaging 8%. You're drinking 3, 16, 20 ounces.
And it's not exactly a convenient location. They're not located in the middle of a metropolis.
Middle of nowhere.
So it's almost like when you go on a tour here in Kentucky and they give you tokens or tickets 100%. And tell you like you're going to have 3 tastings and that's
100%.
It.
But not like a beer fest though, because at a beer fest they'll give you 10 tokens and you can have 150 pours.
Yeah, they'll fuck you up.
I've had some problems at beer fests here, with the pours. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you ever go to a beer fest, do not worry about your token account. So what this is their old growth Kentucky Common. So I'm going to show you all 3 of these. This is a Kentucky Common Ale, very odd style, I would say. We'll talk about that in a minute. The next one is Old Timey. It is a barrel-aged stout, so also a beer. And then this one is their bourbon. So it's old growth, small batch bourbon. This is batch 2. There's about 1,400 bottles of this one in a 375 format. So in 750s people are used to, there's, 700? Half of that number, I think. Is my math good?
I think so, yeah.
So batch 1 sold out instantly. I think it was a lottery. You had to, pick it up on site. Batch 2, very hard to get. Batch 2 was not a lottery, but you still couldn't have a proxy. So I couldn't order it online, have you pick it up. So I got lucky and got this one.
Okay. Wait, so you went and got it?
Oh, hell no. I just had some. I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
I know how it works. Yeah.
You know a lot of people.
Fell off a truck. I know a few guys. That's good. Yeah. So my thought is let's start with the Kentucky Common. Let's pass this around and talk a little bit about it.
So let's talk about the Kentucky Common style a little bit. That is a strange... And all of these, are they using the same barrel for all of these products?
Yeah, good question. So from what I can tell online, the common denominator here is the ingredients. So all the ingredients sourced for all 3 of these products are only grown in Massachusetts. Now, that doesn't mean they're not grown in other states. It's just saying they're taking them from that state.
Right.
So they're giving back to that. On this one here, Kentucky. What do you think of when you think Kentucky Common beer, Matt? Like, what's the first thing that pops in your mind?
I mean, light. It's going to be a lighter beer. I think originally it was supposed to be sour, but I'm assuming this one's not.
So you look back on that. Have you ever heard of a Kentucky Common, Anthony?
I have not, and I'm not super experienced with beer. I had a little bit of a craft beer time where I was excited about it and didn't really spend a lot of time drinking it. But in terms of a common, I've never heard that term before.
We only started drinking beer yesterday.
Oh yeah, I can tell.
So no, Kentucky
all
Common,
day yesterday.
All day.
I think it's still yesterday. I don't know.
Got a 24-hour experience there. Yeah.
So Kentucky Common is kind of like there's different takes on it. I mean, if you look it up, a lot of the information you'll find online is actually from Louisville. One of the breweries there, I honestly can't remember which one, but they're trying to make it like the state beer, I guess, in Kentucky, which makes sense, Kentucky Common.
Sure.
So cream ale is kind of this style, like a lighter beer. Okay. But I'm with Matt, though. I remember, like, there's some sour ones I've had before.
I think the original recipe when it was first introduced, like decades ago or even 100 years ago, it's an old style. I think it was intended to be sour, but it might have been more because of, like, they weren't as advanced in the techniques of brewing, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because it was easier for things to be sour.
You remember like a Gruit style? Like it's almost a Gruit style of beer. In my mind, it makes me think of like a gin. You know, you throw some ingredients in there. You got some botanicals we were talking about. And you just make it with whatever shit you got on hand. I mean, it's kind of what it is.
Well, a Gruit is a style before hops were like popular or like proliferated. So a standard beer has water, malt, yeast, hops in it. But Gruit doesn't have any hops at all. So they just use like an amalgamation of shit. So you put like, you could put juniper berries in there. You could put like, figs. You could put, it's usually a bunch of like spices and stuff like that.
In the backyard, throw it in.
If it's like gin, then does it have that like,
it's not like
musky women's perfume smell?
Well, some of it could. Yeah. It's possible.
I think the takeaway is that it's just kind of like a trash bag.
Yeah, I got you.
So this style was
not
popular.
Sounding appealing right now.
No. We didn't sell you on it? No? Okay.
Good try.
So we'll get you next time.
The style was popular in the 1850s until Prohibition, and it was originated allegedly around the Louisville, Kentucky area. So originally they say it was a cream ale. I don't know if they knew what a cream ale was in 1850. So we're gonna give this thing a try. So of the three we're gonna try, this is there's only 2 rated on Untappd, the beer rating system. So this averages a 3.88 out of 5. That's probably high for a Kentucky Common, in my guesstimate.
Well, it's usually a very, not pedestrian, but it's a super light beer.
Yeah.
Inoffensive. It doesn't have a whole lot going for it.
Well, I'm going to say something here that's going to be really offensive to this beer. I'm used to bourbon, and so I'm nosing this, and when I'm sniffing it, it honestly smells like opening a can of condensed soup. And that's really weird right now. So I'm hoping it tastes better than that.
So you don't get the flavors of sweet corn, mildly caramelized malts, and earthy classic hops.
Maybe sweet corn soup.
There you go. Like it's Campbell's chicken noodle. Here we go. Woo.
So this one, in my mind, I mean, it's pretty a common style of beer, very basic. So there's only 617 check-ins. So the reason I bought this beer is like, hell, if I'm going to buy this, let's buy them all 3.
So to go back, they were aged in the same barrel?
This one wasn't barrel aged at all. This is just the ingredients from Massachusetts area.
Gotcha. So this is kind of like it's marketing thing,
it's
maybe?
It's loosely related because this common ale has nothing to do with the barrel aged style. You know what I'm saying? I just think the ingredients were used in common.
Well, I mean, you look at the logos.
They look exactly.
And the beers even. Yeah, they look exactly the same. But they all say old growth. So this must be like, is it kind of like a side project? Not the brewery, but it's just kind of like their side deal.
It's something new that they're doing. So they're making a distillery. They have that. They've done 2 batches of bourbon, maybe 3 at this point, and then they've also done, I think, a vodka and a gin.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see about that. Well, actually, while we're drinking this one, we got pretty big pours. Let's go ahead and open the bourbon as we're going.
Oh, nice.
So on the nose on this one, I think it is. It's really sweet on the nose. I actually thought it was going to be a lot heavier drinking it, and then it just like it's not clean, but it's super light, it's super inoffensive, which is, I guess, it's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I think on the nose you were expecting it to be a lot more full body than it is. It's pretty standard.
So because I don't have a lot of experience with beer, I'm going to ask both of you guys this: does this have any characteristics of like a saison ale to you? Because it kind of reminds me of maybe a bad saison that I had.
Bad saison.
Not that I'm saying this is bad.
Right,
I'm saying that
yeah.
it just has. I'm just trying to compare it to flavors.
Yeah, no, of course. I think a saison's going to be a little more grainy, a little bit more effervescent. It's
when I think of a perfect saison example of one, I go to Hill Farmstead.
Okay.
So it's like if you, I think we were talking earlier about zest. So, if you're zesting a lemon, a lime, an orange, if you pop that orange peel open and you see that like little mist, it's like, damn, I love it.
Just like spray and it covers everything. Yeah.
Exactly. It smells great, right? Yeah. So a saison to me is that effervescent, like Matt was saying. It's just nice, crisp. It's just open.
Okay.
So I think in the sense of ingredient wise, I could see that, and then a saison gone bad. Sure, this could be that.
Okay.
I guess
it's a lot more malty.
The thing I get from saisons a lot is it's got a lot more inherent graininess.
I gotcha.
It's almost the style originates from being on the farm. They call them the farmhouse ale. So back in France, that's how they used to pay their hands. It's like they would make the beer and they pay you in the beer that you make.
And as I'm getting this education, it's making a lot of sense to me because this is not bad. It's not offensive. Nothing is wrong with it at all.
It's basic, right? It's just plain.
It just, to me, has for reference, I'm a double hoppy IPA kind of guy. Not even the hazy stuff. Like I like that gooey kind of
like
taste.
the malty.
Yeah, exactly.
Great Lakes.
Exactly.
Loch Ness Monster, is that what their big double is, I think? Or something like that.
That kind of stuff. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I like this. It's it's crushable.
4.9%, only 617 check-ins. So I think they've only done this once, maybe twice.
Yeah,
not a lot of people bought it.
I like it. It's not like I won't think it would be a go-to, but I mean, it's something that if it's on the shelf, I'd be like, I'll grab it.
Is it more flavorful than Bud Light? Yes.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So I mean, at 4.9%, it's kind of like a flavorful ballot.
Oh, I take it. Yeah.
All right, let's try the bourbon. Let's see what we're thinking on this one. So I'm going to let Anthony start on this one since he's our bourbon expert we brought on here.
Yeah. Do you know what the mash bill is of this?
Absolutely. It is weeded.
I was going to say it tastes. It smells like it's weeded or it has an oat in it. That's what.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Like maybe I was thinking if it was 4 grain, it almost smells like 4 grain. Younger 4 grain.
Young. So age statement on this one. It's saying aged under 4 years in American oak cask. What do you think? I'm going to say it's like a 2 year, 2 to 3 on the nose.
Probably, and I will say this. If it's a young wheated bourbon, I've not had a lot of good experiences with young wheated bourbons. But I mean, hey, maybe it's the first time coming here.
Go ahead and try it. I'm going to see what you think of that.
So from this, what's 100 proof? Just give a little information. Wheated mash bill, distilled in-house. They made themselves using only New England grown products. It was also a low barrel entry proof.
Okay.
So they were proud of that. They kept talking about that and saying it was a harder process. I'm not super familiar on why that would be harder, but they were very proud of it.
Yeah. I wish I knew more about why the lower entry proof meant more, but I will say this. It does this some justice because higher entry proof, younger wheated bourbon tastes a lot more harsh than this. This has a lot of upfront sweetness, even though it finishes kind of ethanol-y and a little bit like not super pleasant. I'm not going to lie,
for sure.
But the upfront flavors are nice. I really like. I mean, they're. I mean, when I say they're nice, I mean there's a nice sweetness and a creamy sweetness.
Yeah.
Which, trust me, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here, but like I remember very vividly, Smooth Ambler's Big Level. Do you guys remember that?
I remember seeing it. I've never had it. I remember seeing it.
I was so excited to try that because Smooth Ambler had such a long history of putting like some of the best sourced bourbon out there. And then they released this 5-year wheated bourbon. And I remember I went to a local big box store. They had it in the back, bought it like $55, took it home, cracked it immediately. And I was like, oh, this is just terrible. It was so bad. And I don't even think they make that product anymore. I don't know what they do with it.
I've seen it on their shelves before, but no, never.
But you want to talk about a miss. Like I feel bad because they put out some great stuff since then. But I mean, young wheated bourbon is tough. It's very tough.
What do you think of Matt?
I feel like, and maybe I'm misinterpreting what you're saying, but I'm almost getting like the transposition of your notes. Like I'm getting a little bit more maybe like fusel on the front, like a little harsh. But I agree with you. It doesn't burn. It doesn't hurt. Like it's relatively smooth. But I'm getting more of a kind of a clean finish.
Oh, clean finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not getting a whole lot of like body in it at all.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I'm wondering, I'm getting a lot of aroma in it, and most of it is fusel. And I'm wondering if that is kind of just like maybe masking what I'm getting on the palate.
Yeah, it's drawing you up a little bit.
Yeah. Because I sat there and I sniffed it for a good 8 seconds while you all were chatting.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, both nostrils.
See what you missed? You missed it.
So for me, what I feel like the nose it scares me. I feel like it's almost like moonshine I'm getting ready to drink when I'm just smelling it.
Yeah.
But the taste, I'm actually okay with. Like, I don't think it's anything to write home about. I'm not buying 6 bottles, but it's better than I think from the nose.
Yeah.
The one flavor I get from it is like a...
Sorry.
That's true.
When you're talking about the nose, I'll give you my nose in a second.
So on this one, though, the flavor that I get that stands out to me is an old-fashioned with the orange, almost like an orange liqueur you've poured in there a little bit. Okay. That's what I get from it. I'm not saying it's like super up front, but it's the one flavor I can pick out. So I don't think it's great, but it's better than the nose gives me.
I mean, on the nose I get kind of like burnt hair.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to get really technical with the nose. The nose to me is like, this is so bad. I mean, I feel like you'd have to cut this out.
I agree. Yeah.
The nose is like,
I think the nose is bad.
Take a piece of drywall, mix it up into some liquid, and then also put some Murphy's oil soap in there, and that's what it smells like to me. Honest to God, like
that sounds perfect.
There you go.
Well, why the fuck would we cut that out? It's amazing.
Bottle that shit.
I know. Yeah, that should be like when you do like judges do a panel. That should be like one of the options. It's like, drywall with Murphy oils. That's
there you go. I mean.
So here's their tasty notes. So we taste caramel corn. I'm not getting that.
This is their tasting note.
There's corn. There's a lot of corn.
Well, I get corn. I don't get caramel. Caramel corn and corn are not the same thing.
You just get corn, like straight corn.
If you took out the caramel, I get corn. Yeah. Buttery oatmeal cookies. I'm not getting that one. I don't think. I don't even get any of those. Maybe, I don't know. And then yellow cake, which is really odd to put in a descriptor. But,
yellow cake.
Yeah. Honestly, out of all of them, I could probably see yellow cake the most, but maybe like a bitter yellow cake.
I think I probably could too. I don't get caramel corn.
Yeah.
But, here's what I'd say about this one. For me personally, it's pretty solid. Now, for the price point, I think it was $30.
Good question. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
I think it's fair. So $60 a fifth.
Yeah.
I'd buy one, I feel like on this one. Yeah. So, of the things we'll have today, this is, of this show, these are the only things I can think of as secondary. Secondary on this was about $75, just because people wanted to try it.
And this tastes like, maybe I'm wrong, but this tastes like inexperience. So I could see them. I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah. There you go.
But this tastes like something that maybe they could like hone in on the future and get better at.
Yeah.
Because compared to how well they do beer, I mean,
I've had worse younger whiskeys.
I've had worse, but all things considered, I guess it's probably on par with a batch 2 release, but it's not great.
Yeah, no, and here's what I was going to say. I give them all the credit in the world because it can't be an easy process to want to put something out like this.
Yeah.
With the type of people that are, going to be tasting it and scrutinizing it because it's not going to stack up against the big guys. Mm-hmm. It's not going to stack up think about some of the popular weeded bourbons that are out there, like your Larcenies and Wellers and all this other stuff. It's not even coming close.
No.
And so, but I do think that this is a nice first attempt, and I think that it is. That's a good way to characterize it. For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important to go into it understanding that, like, hey, we're figuring this out.
Yeah.
So while I'm struggling over here, we're going to try to open the barrel-aged stout.
It's on the struggle bus.
We tried the bourbon. We've tried the Kentucky Common. So we're going to try the barrel-aged stout, old-timey, sweet and mild.
So what's in this stout?
Well, stout-like things.
Stoutish.
Everything's old in this series.
Yeah, it is.
It's old. It's just old-timey.
I'm just an old-timey drifter.
Yeah. I'm going to let Anthony start. So I got a little bit of rinse water in mine still. So,
right. Thank you, sir.
Just to sum up that bourbon a minute ago, when a brewery goes to a distillery, I think it's tough because what I've seen is you have head brewers that trade a lot of their beers, whether that's good, bad, or ugly, they trade it for mainly through a proxy. So I think everybody knows what a proxy is, but for example, if I owned a brewery and I wanted to obtain something else, but I didn't want to get my hands dirty into that, I might have Anthony or Matt trade for me so it doesn't link back to me.
Okay.
There's been stories of this from other breweries. I'm not going to name those breweries. I'm not going to name those people, but I know you. I see you.
He's like, I got you.
I see what's up. So, what happens is a lot of these brewers are big into bourbon. So I think they're wanting to take advantage of the bourbon boom. They're wanting to get in that. They see the margins on that are better. But also they want to make a product that's freaking Buffalo Trace. They want to make BTAC.
Right.
Now, is that going to happen? Probably not.
Yeah.
But, applause.
Maybe one in a million.
Yeah. I mean, you're not Pappy. So,
yeah.
But hey, applause for trying. But I think it's a good try. I think this is the things I've tried from distilleries. This is probably from breweries. This is the best. At least like first attempt. So.
And from a marketing, I'm a big marketing guy. From a marketing standpoint, you can do fun things when you're manufacturing horizontally. So it's like you start opening new divisions and new products, and then all of a sudden you cross promote, and then you're using the barrels and the other stuff, and they all got the same kind of like sticky logo going on there. And so this one is actually it's a standard non-adjunct barrel-aged stout,
correct,
using the old growth TreeHouse bourbon barrels, correct?
Which is really cool.
Which is smart.
That's a really smart
it's resourceful thing.
Yeah.
So you've used ingredients from Massachusetts.
Yep.
Then you've used your own beer you've made. Then you've aged it in bourbon barrels that you made. I mean, hell, that's a great idea. Like it's saving
100%.
money.
Well, not only is it great marketing, but it's saving money too.
No doubt.
For sure.
I'm over here, as a first timer going, this is pretty sweet stuff. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So with TreeHouse stouts, I've had some good ones. I've had some less than good ones. So the thing that they've done, if you read their stouts a lot of times, they will do partial barrel age. So they'll do 3 blends. They'll have one product, one stout that's aged for, let's say, a year.
Yeah.
They'll have one that's aged for 6 months, and then they'll have one that's not aged, and they will blend those together for a taste. It's rare to see that.
Sure.
So some of that product's unaged. This one here is all aged. So, I mean, it averages a 4.48 on Untappd. There's only 172 check-ins.
That's a good rating. That's a very good rating.
Well, but you also get some of that homerism on 172 check-ins.
Sure, that's true, yeah.
But there's some rarity on this one.
What is the... And I'm sorry, you were going to say something?
Oh, what's amazing about this is I didn't even look at the bottle before I tasted it.
Yeah.
And the first thing I tasted was like Rickhouse oak.
Yeah.
It was like up front, very nice, oaky, came through, and I don't get that on a lot of stouts. And then I look at the bottle, and it says an exceptional notes of oaky vanilla, and I'm like, man, they nailed that.
I would agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And
my first flavor profile was vanilla.
I'm with you.
And then oak. I'm with you.
And that's almost to the point to where I'm really curious about more of the background of this beer, because you and I both know that a lot of TreeHouse stouts are notoriously, I don't want to say the word thin, but I guess I'm going to.
They're thin. I'll say
thin.
Comparatively speaking to a lot of other, like heavy hitter stouts. Mm-hmm. And this one's got a lot of body on it. Yep. It's got a shitload of oak on it. What's the ABV on this one?
That's a great question. You know what the answer is?
What's up?
Nobody fucking knows.
Really?
Okay.
There's nothing on Untappd.
Really?
There's nothing on their website, and there's nothing on the bottle.
Really?
What in the world?
Now, how they get away with that is because they don't distribute. They only sell the tap room. Yeah. But I've never seen a bottle that I can't find any ABV on online or something.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. What do you think it is? Like, if you had to guess ABV.
I'm going to, knowing TreeHouse, I'm going to guess somewhere like 9 north.
I was thinking 12.
If I was just going to go by taste alone, I would go north. But like knowing TreeHouse, I'd say like 9-10.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you look at the lacing. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but that's a lot of lacing. It's coating the glass. Like, I won't go as far to say it's like a thick stout.
Yeah.
It's really close to that. Like, but it's really there.
I mean, I think it's got a really good body on it. And to kind of capitalize on Anthony said, it's the oakiness you get on there. I mean, it's all barrel. And I almost wonder if that could be making it taste more stronger than it actually is, because I mean that's a lot of barrel.
But I think it's smooth, you know, for a barrel aged stout. Like it's not harsh. It's not.
Well, I think it's on that border.
Is it borderline of harsh?
I think it's right there.
What do you think, Anthony? I mean, you're newer to beer than us, or less experienced. No offense.
Well,
a little offense. But
yeah, no. I'm so offended. I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
It won't be the first time.
There you go.
We've had people leave the show. Don't worry.
Walk right out. Just get out of here. No, I actually, as the stouts that I've tasted, I'm so used to tasting like the chocolate first, or the fudge and whatever adjuncts are in it. If they're adjuncts or not, I don't know enough about it.
Peanut butter, marshmallow, Pop-Tarts.
There you go.
Fucking
there you
Hershey's,
Swedish fish.
Is that the stuff they put in their sweetest fish?
There probably is, honestly.
I actually like the oakiness so much because I don't know if it's because I'm a bourbon guy and I like bourbon more, but like this is just hitting all the right things for me. Like I actually, can I cork that up and take it home with me?
$500. $500 corkage fee.
But you can appreciate it better. Just kind of slower sip.
Yeah. No, I really like it.
I'm impressed by this. Like I did not think this would be that good.
Yeah.
This is the best barrel aged stout I've had from TreeHouse. I've only probably had 10 or 12.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decent sample size.
Yeah, of course.
This is the best by far.
I think and I think that is most due to the body, in my opinion, because they get this kind of body and it kind of sets it apart from the rest of the stouts they make. Not to take away from the other stouts, but a lot of them they kind of rest on the adjuncts. I feel like
they're double shots, they're big ones, right? Triple shot, quad shot. It's all coffee,
and those are good, but those are so much thinner than this is.
Not barrel aged,
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't tell me they brewed this, I wouldn't have believed it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah. You know, one thing they have going for this, though, and I know I've talked about this in 18 of our, 40-some episodes, but Side Project, who we both agree on, are a very good stout producer.
World class,
They love younger bourbon barrels because they don't have leaks in them. They retain all that, and TreeHouse's bourbon is by all accounts very good. So I think you get maximum barrel from that. I mean, this is solid.
So that was made. The bourbon barrels for that were used for this.
Correct. They made that stout and then threw it in bourbon barrels.
That's fantastic.
And how old was this bourbon?
So it says under 4. I mean, my guess 2 to 3.
I take back everything I said about the Murphy's Ale. It's good in here, maybe not here.
So secondary on this one, secondary on the other beer we had, there's really none. I mean, cost, I think this one was probably $15-$20, which is fair. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, the bourbon, $30, secondary $75. I wouldn't pay $75 in my opinion. I'd give $30 again to try like batch 3, see what's up.
I hate to say it, but I mean, I wouldn't. I would probably try it. But knowing what it is, like if I had the option to buy it and I've had it,
you can disagree with me.
I'm going to disagree. I mean, I can get a Russell 10 for $30. You know what I mean?
You can,
and it's around the same proof, and I actually enjoy that a lot.
So what do you think about the bourbon? Anthony, would you buy it for $30? Are you a pass, try, or buy?
I've listened. There you go. Nice. Very good. I like that. I actually would probably be a try. I'm kind of with Matt on this one, and I'd have to know what's going on with it. Like until you guys are talking about this, introducing me to it, I don't know a whole lot about TreeHouse other than what I heard from multiple folks and what I've read online. So because I've never been traveling up to Massachusetts for that. So, but yeah, I'd probably try.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I think it's worth checking out. I was very impressed by the old timey, I think it is, that barrel aged stout, and then the bourbon wasn't bad.
What about the beer? So
it's okay.
There's but the stout. So the Kentucky Common, like it's good. It's approachable. That stout, I'm actually kind of surprised with the pedigree, being TreeHouse. And being a bourbon barrel aged, that there's not a secondary on that one. You're saying there's not?
Well, there's not. I mean, I've never seen it go up for secondary. Again, though, you got 172 check-ins. How many of these they release?
I'm not trying to go on a tangent here, but like, I guess like TreeHouse still they're still sought after for stouts, and it's mainly like double shots, triple shots.
So here's what I'd compare this to. I'd compare this to Voodoo. So Voodoo barrel aged stouts, 12-ounce format, same format. They're waxed, same waxes. So you're roughly looking at $25 for a 12-ounce, which is pretty much what TreeHouse charged. I can't remember, say 2027, I don't know. So secondary on some of those Voodoo, they're 150 plus.
Wow.
And this one is nothing right
I mean, let's say it's $50.
That's mind-boggling.
I agree.
This is that's a just actually.
And you know why? Because TreeHouse is. What do you think when you say TreeHouse? You think hops. You think hops. You don't think stouts.
Well, but I kind of do, but
do you for TreeHouse?
Well, I think of like the double shots, triple shots, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay.
They're known for the hops, but I know that people know and like go for the stouts.
But if you say Voodoo, I think Black Magic. Like that's the only thing. I mean, I think some other things. Yeah. They're a good brewery, but I mean, first thing that pops in my mind is Black Magic.
Yeah.
Anthony, get another pour there.
Yeah, we interrupt this programming to bring you the Oak Monster.
Me and Jason are over here having a conversation. Anthony's over here like hawking over here.
Here we go.
Can I get a little more? Please have another.
It was so good. I like this.